Hi, it's Stewart Fraser, PGA Professional at Snainton Golf, and you join me on the first tee of the final links at Snainton Golf. And I've also got the brand new Titleist T300 iron to review. We're going to hit a few shots off the par 3 first here and see if this is as good as its predecessor. The old T300 performed fantastically well. It flew very high, it went an awful long way, it was extremely easy to hit. It's been a huge success in custom fits I've done. So I'm really keen to see if this one does everything the old one did, plus a little bit more. So far, just looking at it initially, I'm certainly impressed with the looks. So let's hit a few shots with this thing and see how this goes. So initially what I have to say is, from the top, behind the golf ball, this thing looks a lot better than the old T300. I would say there's a little bit less offset on the head than there was with the old one. I feel as it looks a little bit less chunky, but the head size is very, very similar. I even feel as though this is maybe a little bit stronger lofted than the old T300, and the old T300 was certainly known for hitting an extremely high ball. But let's see how this goes. So I'm going to try and pop one down there towards the flag, get an idea how this feels. So the first shot there feels kind of like the old one off the club face. Very, very solid. I struck it slightly out the toe of the golf club that time, but it wasn't really recognisable in terms of feedback up the golf club. So yeah, really forgiving club. It went extremely well still. Taken a little bit off it on the first hole here, but even with like a 3/4 swing, 172 yards is an awful long way with no helping wind today. So I'm going to have a few more shots, really put this through its paces and see whether this is every bit as good as the old one. So I am really happy to report that this thing is a big improvement on the previous model. Even though the previous model was such a success, I think they've improved this in terms of look, so it's thinner along the top. Still just as big a hitting area, so it's extremely forgiving, and I like that wide sole, which is going to help the majority of golfers. Probably around that sort of high handicap, right down to sort of 15 handicap range, I think this will suit anybody. Personally, I'd put one of these long irons in the bag because it's so easy to hit and so fast off the face. Also that minimal offset now, a little bit less offset than the old one, means I can now shape the ball a little bit in both directions. Doesn't give me quite the same feel as the T200 or the one obviously, but it produces a completely different ball flight, and this thing is really fast off the face. I'm going to have another couple of shots in a minute and just see how far we can get this thing going, but it feels like one of the hottest faces in terms of an iron that I've tried. But overall, yeah, I really like the new tech in the head. The looks are far superior to the old one, and again, like the rest of the T-Series range, I think they've made massive improvements. One thing you would certainly use this iron for, if you're a golfer looking for more height on your shots, a lot more distance and massive amounts of forgiveness, this is definitely the iron for you. I do feel as well it still retains those more traditional looks as well as being fast off the face and forgiving, so it's going to be a real fan favourite in general. I feel as though this thing is going a lot further than any of the irons I've tried so far, but we're going to have a few more shots and just see how far out there we can get this thing going, see how much distance gain we can get. So welcome back into the custom fitting bay, and I've had a little bit of time to sleep on this one, and certainly after hitting a few shots with this T300 yesterday, I've definitely come to the conclusion that it's one of the easiest irons to hit that I've tried in the previous few seasons. As well as easy to use though, this thing does definitely launch a lot higher, but because they're strong lofted and they go so far, that high launch is certainly going to help most people, because as soon as you make a club stronger lofted, of course it's going to fly a little bit lower, so they needed to do something with the technology to make this golf club still playable. Now, looking at a little bit of the data that we got from this typically was going sort of 10-12 yards further than what the T100, T200 was, probably more like 15 further than the one, and maybe about 10 further than the 200, because that was going a bit further than the 100. But noticeably, this is flying about 20 to 24 feet higher than what the other two were doing as well. So this is even though it's strong lofted and it goes a long way, it's really hot off the face, this thing's going to be easy to get up in the air. So for the majority of higher handicappers or somebody who struggles to get the ball high, hit the ball consistently, I think the wider sole plate on this T300 and the higher launching characteristics are going to be really helpful, and it's going to suit most people. I mean, even myself, this feels so fast off the face. I feel as though I kind of want to put one of these in the bag in a long iron because it's so easy to hit, and out of any lie really, I'll be able to get this up in the air and stop it fairly quickly on the green. So it has a range of uses for a range of different handicaps, I believe. Overall, it's definitely one of the easiest golf clubs to hit. I've hit in many a season, so the T300's an absolute winner. So basically, in summary, if you're looking to hit the ball higher, if you're looking for a golf club that's really, really easy to use, goes straight, goes an awful long way, you're definitely going to gain some yardage by trying this brand new T300. And just generally a club that still looks nice, so the characteristics, the look of this golf club are still slightly more traditional. It looks pretty cool, I like the look of this thing. There's not too much offset on this golf club. This is definitely the one for you. This is the one to try. So I would without doubt give this a go, because this is one of my favourite game improvement irons of 2021, and we've tried a lot on the reviews that you've seen so far. Don't forget though, there'll be a lot more reviews on new products coming out very soon. And thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon.